Today we crushed a beautiful 1 to 6 risk to reward trade, and I'm going to show you how we used a retail trend line to our advantage to smash this trade. Let's check it out. All right, so here is gold. This is a 1 hour chart. I'm gonna walk you through my thought process, and then I'm gonna break down the trade that we executed today to capture a 1 to 6 risk to reward. So risking 2%, that is a 12% gain on this trade that I'm gonna show you shortly. So as we can see here, and what most traders would do with this pattern here is draw trend lines like this. They will draw a trend line on the top and maybe even a trend line on the top to identify this channel here. Now, that's why a lot of these trend lines are very subjective, because there are so many different possibilities that you can connect these different lows on, like this, maybe these three here, maybe this high here, and connecting something like that. So you can see it's super subjective. Maybe these three here, that probably looks the cleanest. But again, this is not stuff that I personally use. The reason why I'm using this is to get an idea of what the retail crowd is doing. Where are people putting their stop losses? Where are they looking to enter the marketplace? So when we see a pattern like this, most people, their approach is going to be one of two things. First, it'll either be buying off of this bottom here. Some traders might be even selling off of the top of this trend line here, using it as resistance. What other traders might do here is, if they see a strong breakout to the downside, breaking that trend line, they will look for a pattern like this, a retest here, and then look for price to continue down there. Now, when this happens here and traders enter the market, maybe they're also adding in support and resistance levels like this, and they're looking for price to break these levels and then use these support levels as resistance. What they're gonna all do is put their stop losses above the high. So they'll look for some type of entry from this break retest level of the trend line or this new resistance, and they're gonna do something like this, and their stop loss is gonna go somewhere in this vicinity up here. And that is gonna start building liquidity. And maybe their target is this support resistance level down here. Who knows where they're targeting? Again, it's very, very subjective. So let me remove this, and I'm gonna get this out of here. And I'm gonna show you the price action that developed and then how we took advantage of it. So we can see price looks like it's starting to break out of this channel right here and break this trend line. So we can see it is confirmed right there. So when retail traders see this, their first instinct is to look for selling opportunities. What they're gonna do is exactly what I just showed. They're gonna look for a pullback and look for price to continue to the downside. And their risk to reward tool is gonna look something like this. They're going to be entering somewhere in this area here. Stop losses are going to start accumulating in this area up here. And who knows what they're going to be targeting. Maybe this level here, offering less than 1 to 2 risk to reward on their money for a 240 pip move. So again, these concepts, these retail concepts, are very subjective, and they offer terrible risk to reward. So I'm going to show you how we then took advantage of this opportunity using this information, knowing where most retail traders are going to enter, most importantly, where they're putting their stop losses, which would be accumulating in this area here. So let's delete all of this here as I'm drawing squiggles here. Let's delete this. I'm going to take away this top line here because we don't need it. So the first thing here that really stands out to me is this candle right here. And the reason that does is because we can see price ran on this low here and made a strong engulfing candle here and then made a nice push up. Then we can see price gave a nice little flag pattern back into this point of interest before continuing up. It had another little manipulation candle here, price pushed up here. But the reason why I wouldn't take this one here is for the same reason that I explained up here. We can see this break retest level here. And using this level here, if anybody were to buy on this area, this low here would be the next logical spot that stop losses would be used by retail crowds. So this was the candle that made the most sense to me that I was going to pay attention to. And I wanted to see price push into this area like we can see it doing now. Now, with the majority of people using retail concepts looking for sells, I'm looking how I can take advantage on the buy side. So this candle could have been used straight up as an entry right there, and probably also offer really good risk to reward. But for me, the reason why I didn't take an entry off of this is because this was at the end of New York. So I wanted to see what would develop during Asian session and London session, and what was there for price action in New York session. So we can see price right now came into this area here. I marked that up. So, somebody could have easily taken this candle stop loss. You're looking at right around 49 pips, a little bigger than what I like to use. On gold, that's not terrible, especially when we're targeting this high, knowing that's where people are putting stop losses. So where people are putting in their stop losses, that's where we want to look to target, because we're always anticipating price running to the areas that can hurt the most people. And that would also offer a pretty good risk to reward, right? So you're looking at 1 to 6.3 risk to reward on your money. So at this point, this is outside my trading hours, and I want to see what develops coming into New York session the following day, which was today, and how I took advantage of the price action. So I'm going to let this ride out for a little bit. I'm going to walk you through the price action. So again, right now, I'm not trading. I'm not on my computer. This is happening while I'm sleeping during Asian session, which is identified by this white background here. And this green section that just started here, that is representing the start of London session. So I'm coming into the office on my computer, typically 6 to 7 in the morning, getting prepared for New York Open at 8 a.m. Eastern. So right now, let's just run this price action, and I'll show you what I was looking at this morning. So we can see right now price pushed up, and price came into a slight pullback during London. It looked like it popped up, and then it shot down. So again, I didn't see anything that really had me excited for this to go up. I wanted to really look for further confirmation, which in my opinion would be price breaking up above this high, showing that it was going to start running to the upside and create some more bullish structure. So again, right, this is that break retest level that I was talking about here. This is where sellers are coming into the market as well. So for me right now, this was not showing anything that was, in alignment with my trade plan. I didn't have my confirmations yet. So there was no trade on this day here. So let's continue running. We can see price started to pull back. Now we're in Asian session. We can see price has pushed up higher than this level here, taking the previous day high. So now when I come into the office, this is the price action that I'm looking at. We can see price has respected this area one more time, but also took out this low here, which was Asian low, then ran on this high here, which was the previous day high. We can see some nice bullish price action during Asian session, and then we can see more bullish price action during London session. So at this point, when I came into the office, I'm pretty confident of where price is going, and it's for this high here. Now at this point, I'm going to mark up. This is when I was in the office, right around 7. And this is 8 o'clock here. That's at New York Open. So at this point, what I'm doing is I'm dropping down to lower time frames to see if I can find a pattern that will correlate with my idea here of price going for this high here. So I dropped down to the 5-minute, 4-minute originally, and what I'm looking for are patterns. So again, this price action here, I'm sleeping, I'm not awake, I'm not in the office. So right now I'm looking to see what's happening for when I'm in the office in this period here, coming up to 8 a.m. Eastern. And then we also had a news event at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, which was right around here as well. So those vertical lines are just representing different points of time. So let's continue playing this price action here. and I'll show you when I see the pattern that we took. It was on a 4-minute time frame. So there it is right there. So you can see this is the signature pattern that we talk about pretty frequently. So we have our structure, we have our targets, and I'm gonna move this line out because this is when I'm in the office now. And we can see price was moving sideways here. We can see it kind of dumped below and then a strong push up. This was our entry right here on this 4-minute candle here. That's the entry, that's the stop loss. No imbalance below this price here. Nothing that concerns me, that would suggest price running lower. We can see some nice bullish price action all through Asian, all through London, and that's what I was looking for, it to continue up into this high, which would offer right around that 1 to 6 that I mentioned earlier. So let's play this out and see how this trade turned out. So there's the entry fill there. Looks like it gave a nice little test, then started pushing up. And then we can see as soon as we came into that New York overlap where that volume comes in the market, we can see price just strongly pushed up and attack that high, hitting TP for a 1 to 6. So if you got value from this video, or if you have any questions about what I talked about, make sure to leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next one.